Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I will show you a very famous and controversial game where Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann faced each other over the chessboard. Hans Niemann is suspected of cheating in this game, which was played during the 2022 Sinquefield Cup. At least, that was the reason Carlsen gave for withdrawing from the tournament while it was still ongoing. Without further ado, let's take a look at the game. Magnus Carlsen has the white pieces, and Hans Niemann has the black pieces. The game starts with d4, knight f6. This is the Indian defense. c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. The Nimzo-Indian defense, with which black indirectly fights for control of the e4 square. White has several possible responses, and Carlsen plays g3, the Romanician variation. White is willing to accept damage to their pawn structure if black decides to play bishop takes c3, but in return they aim to place a bishop on g2, a piece that would exert tremendous influence over the center of the board and especially over black's queenside. Castle kingside, bishop g2, d5, black fights for control of the center of the board. a3, challenging the bishop, bishop takes c3 check, b takes c3, d takes c4. Black wins a pawn, but the bishop on g2 enjoys a much wider diagonal. Knight f3, c5, striking at white's center. Castle kingside. Carlsen uses his usual strategy of choosing a sideline with little theory and not much of an advantage either. C takes d4. Queen takes d4, a novelty in this line. It's at this point that Carlsen begins to grow suspicious of Niemann, as the latter plays almost instantly. Knight c6, attacking the queen. Queen takes e4, and now, once again, Niemann plays very quickly e5. A good move, preparing to develop the bishop to an active square. This is when Carlsen was already absolutely furious and completely convinced that Niemann was cheating, assuming that the American had access to some device or something that could be telling him what moves to play. Bishop g5. h6. Again, black plays too fast. Rook fd1, attacking the queen, and now Niemann plays bishop e6, an accurate move. On the other hand, queen e7 is exactly what white wants, as he wins a tempo compared to bishop takes f6. So bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, knight d2, and now it's possible to fight for the advantage. Knight e4 or queen b5 are plans that white could carry out. Let's get back to the game. As I said, bishop e6 was played by Niemann. Carlsen rook takes d8. Bishop takes c4. Rook takes a8. Rook takes a8. Bishop takes f6. G takes f6. The opening phase is over, and the conclusion is clear. A disappointing outcome for Carlsen, who now must fight for a draw after no more than 16 moves, with no winning chances whatsoever. Additionally, the Norwegian suffers from double pawns. King f1, rook d8, king e1, knight a5, rook d1, rook c8. It's necessary to keep the rooks in order to play for a win, otherwise it will be much easier for white to protect his queenside weaknesses. Knight d2, bishop e6, c4, giving a pawn in order to get activity. Bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, rook takes c4, rook d8 check, king g7, bishop d5. Otherwise, black closes off the bishop with e4. Rook c7, rook a8, pawn to a6, rook b8, f5, rook e8, e4, g4. It's better to break the structure with f3 or wait with rook d8. Rook c5, bishop to a2, knight c4. Instead of this, f takes g4 is the best. After rook takes e4, f5. Black should win with an extra pawn. Back to our game. As I mentioned it, knight c4 was played by Niemann. Carlsen pawn to a4. Knight d6. Rook e7. F takes g4. This doesn't spoil anything, but rook c2 wins immediately. So rook c2. Bishop b3. Rook c3. Bishop to a2. F takes g4. Rook d7. Knight c4. And the b7 pawn cannot be captured because of mate. Back to the real game. As I said, f takes g4 was played by Niemann. Carlsen rook d7. e3, threatening mate on c1. F takes e3. Knight e4. King f1. Rook c1, check. King g2. Rook c2. Bishop takes f7. Rook takes e2, check. King g1. Rook e1, check. King g2. Rook e2, check. King g1. King f6. Bishop d5. Rook d2. Rook f7, check. King g6. Rook d7. A mistake. Better was rook f4. Going for a rook endgame is the best chance. For example, rook takes d5. Rook takes e4, etc. Let's get back to the game. As I mentioned, rook d7 was played by Carlsen, a huge mistake. Niemann knight g5. Bishop f7 check. King f5. Rook takes d2. Knight f3 check. King g2. Knight takes d2. a5. King e5. A fine move, as the king must control the bishop's active attempts connected with bishop e6 and bishop c8. King g3. Knight f1 check. King f2. Knight takes h2. e4. King takes e4. Bishop e6. King f4. Bishop c8. Knight f3. Bishop takes b7. Carlsen's hopes lie in shaving off black's queenside and creating a pass pawn. However, that won't be possible. Niemann has everything under control. Knight e5. Bishop takes a6. Knight c6. Bishop b7. Knight takes a5. Black has crushed white's hopes. Carlsen could resign right now, but surprisingly, he keeps playing a little longer. Bishop d5. h5. Bishop f7, h4. Bishop d5. King e5, and here white resigns. A controversial game, because Niemann played very quickly during the most critical moments of the match, especially right in the middle of Carlsen's home preparation. As I mentioned in the introduction to this video, Magnus Carlsen withdrew from the tournament, posting a message on X, formerly Twitter, without naming anyone but clearly pointing to irregularities in the tournament, and in this game in particular. Sometime later, we all learned that the Norwegian was directly accusing the American of cheating. However, it was never proven that Niemann actually cheated. So, do you want my verdict on this game? Niemann's play wasn't 100% accurate, but it was very close. That leaves two possibilities. Either he's a genius or he cheated. What do you think? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.